We have around 300 active volunteers on our books at most points during the calendar year, working across the three sites, the Powerhouse Museum, the Powerhouse Discovery Centre and the Sydney Observatory. Our volunteers come from a large range of backgrounds. We've had CEOs, doctors, students, nurses, teachers.
My background is in science.
I'm currently an architecture student.
I was an electrical engineer for 40-something years.
I'm an applied physics student.
Logistics manager.
I'm a fine arts student.
I was a high school teacher.
I'm completing a PhD in the area of physical organic chemistry.
I was a busy mother with 5 children, and I was also working for British Airways, which gave me lovely flights for free or not much money.
Volunteers at all three sites of the museum tend to work either behind the scenes or face-to-face with the public on the floor of the museum as part of our events and visitor service team. Behind the scenes volunteers work under supervision on a wide range of jobs, from administration to conservation, from registration to research. We also run very popular week-long programs for work experience students from schools, and where possible, we organise internships for students in higher education. Many volunteers remain with us for a long time, sometimes for decades, and others join as part of a special program or event and are part of our team for just a few weeks. But however long they stay, their contributions across the board are highly valued by staff, and especially by the visitors that the volunteers connect with. Probably at the Powerhouse, we have a larger range of volunteers in terms of age group and interest areas. They range from 16 to 90 years of age, and they're experts in diverse areas, from creating fine lace to making custom rivets for a steam locomotive. A typical day for our visitor services volunteers at the Powerhouse Museum starts after a very well-made cup of coffee with a short morning briefing where we let everyone know what's happening in the museum for the day, and we divide up the volunteer tasks. Sydney Observatory is a really great site for volunteers who have an interest in astronomy or in archaeology. There are some fantastic events and tours which volunteers can become involved with here, especially during the holidays. At the Powerhouse Discovery Centre, our volunteers work at open weekends and in the holidays, guiding book groups around this amazing storage and educational facility. And in term time, they're often very busy with school groups which come to visit. The one thing that all volunteers have in common is that they really like to give. They all want to share their knowledge. They want to share their enthusiasm for the museum with the public or with the staff that they work alongside. Now, one of the really interesting things that events and visitor services volunteers do is find opportunities where visitors can really benefit from more interaction and engagement. We have a fantastic touch table which explains how a rocket launches satellites into space. On some days you walk past and see 50 school students just fascinated by a volunteer explaining to them in simple language how these complicated things work.
Take it out like that. No, don't hold it. Is that stable?
And this is why having volunteers on the floor of the museum is great. The volunteers are out there interacting with the public and providing a connection, a real personal link to help bring the information in the museum alive. Volunteers come to the museum in the first place because they have an interest in a specific area, or they want to gain skills, or they want to give back, or sometimes just because they want to get out of the house. But they stay because their volunteer experiences here, talking with our visitors, with our staff, and with other volunteers, and learning about a collection here at the Powerhouse. It's a really satisfying experience.
I actually started when the museum opened in these premises in 1988, and I have enjoyed every day I've spent here.
I definitely recommend volunteering for the Powerhouse just because it's not just the kids who are discovering new stuff, like you actually learn a lot more than you might think you would by just helping out.